So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you are listening to this. This is Machi Bailey alongside my critique and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this is another episode of Bears Beats and Bailey. And yes, folks, we almost there. We almost there to the season finale of Bears Beats and Bailey, or should say season
Right.
3 finale of Bears Beats and Bailey, where basically
Right.
we're just going to run through our favorite and least favorite movies of the year. In my case, I'll
Right.
also talk about favorite hip hop albums that came out this year as well, including EPs and instrumental albums as well.
Right.
Right. So quite a lot of things we have to talk about actually. I know it's like the week before Christmas and all, but some interesting things took place last week at the time of this recording.
Right.
For one thing, boy, Walt Disney, boy, with the world domination plan still underway.
Yeah.
Has acquired most, not all, of Fox's, well, 20th Century Fox's film and TV production distribution businesses. For I think it's roughly 52.4 billion. Yeah,
Huge. Yeah.
yeah, real huge.
Well, anything this big, it gained some investigation by certain parts of the American government, because it's a little too big to not notice.
Yeah,
So people think that it might have some chicanery involved. With a merger that size. It was not it was a buyout. Shouldn't say
Right.
merger. And yeah, just the sheer weight of what going on. It could be a problem. I am massively distrustful of it. Look, I like Disney.
yeah, me too.
It's a company.
We
it's
grew
a
up on
company that's
Disney. I
very-
mean,
It's
yeah,
a company that does have a good standard, and they know their shit and they understand their brand.
Of course, yeah.
But it's a company that has shown itself to be very, very insidious in many ways. When it comes to controlling, its own image, in terms of from a journalistic standpoint. You could go back even further when it comes to buyouts, like some really nasty business involving Jim Henson, and this is going real far back.
right.
And it's a history. I mean, you don't get as I say, the old joke, you don't get that big without making a few million, without making a few enemies, right?
Hmm.
And it's a company that's shown itself not the nicest when it gets too powerful. And so it's classic antitrust law stuff.
Right, right.
Microsoft in the latter piece of the 20th century was like that. Standard Oil, you can just go back in a classic history. Disney is particularly insidious because it's a media company, and media companies knows how to cover its own asses. So yeah,
Right.
I like to see how this plays out, because Disney is a company that knows how to split itself up in some ways. So even though it's big, it could be so big that it not operating like one thing anymore now.
Right.
In the sense that you don't really have to worry about it in that sense. And because it's marginally progressive as a company, you won't have to worry about it. I kind of think it like Google.
Hmm.
It's that big. Google with it had a little bit of chicanery and a little bit of bad behavior
Right.
involving China, and it depends on where you land on in the political spectrum. Its internal corporate structure has shown itself to be a little, let's say, pathologically politically correct.
Right.
And so it's like Google, So we'll see. My
Yeah,
only problem is I just distrust anything that big. That's the only problem.
Right.
Right.
Well, the thing that kind of caught my interest actually is the fact that now Disney owns, the X-Men,
Right.
Deadpool,
Yeah.
and the Fantastic Four franchise.
Right,
So-
that's on our characters. Well, I actually not too clear on if they have the Fantastic Four for sure. If I remember correctly, it had a couple of little hiccups and red tape with that. I don't think that it finalized. I could just we could just up and make a Fantastic Four movie now for now.
Yeah.
But given the amount of money they could throw around, they could probably make a Fantastic Four movie now for now.
I
if they
know,
want
but
to.
what's bugging me is that they did this twice. I mean, we're not talking about the Roger Corman one from 1994. That's out of it. But talking about the one from 2004, I think it was, and then Fan
Right.
Four Stick. So
Right.
like this would technically be the third Hollywood attempt at doing Fantastic
Well,
Four. So
well,
I think what they should do is just
it's
bring
Spider-Man
them
all over again,
into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just introduce them like what they did with
Right.
Spider-Man last year,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then do a homecoming version of the Fantastic Four.
Right, exactly. But to me, the Fantastic Four is relatively easy to stitch into. I think I mentioned this before. they're relatively easy to stitch into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right, just
it's
use
not
them as a
that
period
hard.
piece then.
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not hard. I mean, and in fact, that's what they should have done with Fantastic Four anyway. Like, just tell a simple origin story in the 60s. Like, do it like The Incredibles, because The Incredibles is the real Fantastic Four movie. That's kind of the running joke, right? So
Yeah.
to me, you should just do that shit and done.
Right.
You shouldn't really try to avoid trying to make it a modern thing, and because it never really fit in a modern time. Like in my head, a good Fantastic Four movie is that you tell a story in the 60s. That's part one. You do the or you tell a story, and then the first half of it is in the 60s, and then something along the lines of whatever causes them to get powers also shoots them into the present now. So,
Okay, I see.
Right, so a good 50 years pass or whatever it is from 1960s.
Yeah.
And you come into this current time, and you just that's the story. You just jump them 60 years in the future, 50 years in the future, whatever it is.
Right.
And so that's a story of not only the outer time, outer fish like Captain America, but in a different way, and bigger powers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell that story, and and then I don't know how they're gonna bring in Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, but
Right.
you can't just throw him
You'll probably
into
do the
just
same thing.
any Marvel movie. They have to have the Fantastic Four in it. It
But
makes sense.
that's all I care about, really. I mean, people, I'm more pissed off with all of those old movies. Not so much about getting Fantastic Four right, but just getting Doctor Doom right. Like Doctor Doom is like the best goddamn Marvel character in my opinion.
Yeah,
Period.
probably the greatest Marvel villain
for me,
ever
greatest, but
created.
like we never get, none of the movies in the past, like, whether 20 years going, that they're trying to pull off these movies well now.
Yeah, like
And
even
we
the
never-
cartoons do him much more justice.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
never really get good justice, and he's the one big character they never get right. They get Magneto right for the most part. They get, Spider-Man right. They get all of these other characters right. Yeah, and Man right. Even a bunch of small characters that kind of don't matter, but they ain't get Doctor Doom right. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on. And there's so much
Yeah.
backstory for him too.
Yeah.
But the one that people really, 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 really worried about though is Deadpool, but
Right. So yeah, a lot of people worry that Deadpool not going to be R-rated from now on, and that's I'm on the fence about that, because I don't know if that, again, Disney's a company that's so big that they understand the brand as working.
yeah.
If this happened before Deadpool 1, I would be genuinely worried. But no, Deadpool 1 really show that they could do this, and I don't think they'll clamp down in that way, but it's quite possible that they may. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fascinating.
It is actually.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
Um,
ultimately, it's I just worried about the dangerous monopoly that is created. It's something that really shouldn't exist. As it's too big to exist. I'm in that camp now.
Yeah.
Something that really shouldn't be this big in the first place. Sorry to say.
Right.
And that's worrying. So
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Also, in terms of that too, in terms of what Disney has acquired, they've also acquired a majority of Fox's popular TV shows. Family Guy, Simpsons, Modern Family. Among others.
No, yeah, it real big.
Just a lot. Just a lot.
I still have to check off exactly what they take and what they didn't take. Somebody make a really funny joke out. Hank Hill could be in Kingdom Hearts. That shit like that. Huge. This is a really, really big buyout. That is what I studied, and the head of Fox, what do you call him? I forget his name.
Rupert Murdoch.
The Australian fella.
Mhm.
He just kind of walking away with the bank. That's why it's kind of weird now. I find it way too big of a buyout for some people to be taken. Just to dismiss as, oh well, Fantastic Four could be in the MCU now. Like, no, this is really, really worrying. Especially in the light of, the other thing we want to talk about, the end of net neutrality as we understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Last week Tuesday it was official.
Yeah, we can segue.
Yeah, FCC actually make the vote.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was before we got to see the movie. Well, we went to see thing at the same time.
Yeah, we went to see Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which we're gonna review at the very end of this podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah, and the weird part about it is that this happened like early in the day, but I didn't watch it live or anything like that. But everybody kind of gave up on the whole thing and say, look, they was gonna vote for it. The two people who it was interested to see who kind of vote for it. I think it was a black woman and a white woman, said no. And the three white guys, well, Ajit the fellow he had is not white, he's Indian.
Right.
But the three guys voted yes, resoundingly. And yeah, it really felt contrived. It was just a bunch of yes men involved in the whole thing. A lot of people didn't really fight too seriously for it. They just kind of Just I won't say it was fait accompli or anything like that, but it was people saying, look, this is at this stage they kind of lose their ground now. Congress still has to vote on it, from what I understand. So it's not end to end, but it's more than likely they'll pace it off.
Right.
In the case of it seemed almost entirely politically motivated because kind of one of the running paradigms of the Trump administration.
Yes,
just
yes.
reverse it any and everything that Obama did for good or for ill now. And in the case of this was like almost a clear case of that scenario playing itself out because it was never a partisan issue until this particular vote, right? You get how much public announcement by Ajit by himself. He said he mentioned it's an Obama era regulation, which is like kind of disingenuous to see, in my opinion. But whatever. The thing is with this is that it's not the worst thing in the world ever, but it is very insidious.
Yeah. But it's gonna affect a lot of people. Well, I can't really see for us down here, but especially in North America, now that they may have to pay for certain services.
Right, that's the thing. That's the thing. You're not you're not on defense of this, and again, I kind of tell you, not more political leaning with this, is that I tend to be kind of left libertarian on the matter. And my attitude is that, well, yeah, it's pretty shitty. You should treat the internet like water and whatnot, but at the same time, because it's the nature of the internet, and it's not like something as common as water or electricity. What you can have, this could be a good thing in the sense that you could have companies come in and just take over certain areas, but for very small people in very rural and marginally rural areas, yeah, it is a problem. I can imagine Google pushing the fiber thing even more now because of this. And people say, well, you had to pay for Facebook or something like that. No, Facebook already have the fast lanes in check. They already paid this off. Even though they were against it, Facebook, won't really have a problem. Same thing with Netflix or even Google. Like Comcast as a company not big enough to replace all these things. The internet has blown up so massively that Comcast as a company not big enough to pull that off, to say, well, we're gonna have our own streaming service or anything like that, or cater to their own friends. It's too big at this point. Right? It'll look so obvious. That's the problem. So I can't see them making that play. That's just my 2 cents on that matter. That's just my opinion. I don't know if they will actually attempt at it. But I could have seen them attempting at it 10 years ago, but not now. Too much time passed for that now. So what I really worried about is, again, these smaller companies, new people coming into the system, that ladder has been pulled. But what I really worried about in the case is really just bigger companies who are already big enough, most notably Google, really taking control now. Like, you thought Google was big before. If they play the cards right and they're not stupid people, they're arguably some of the smartest people on the planet, they could easily jump in and like destroy Comcast. It's quite easy. Comcast can be destroyed by this. There's nothing protecting Comcast now. Like the old joke, you're not trapped in here, and I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me.
Yeah.
That could happen. We could really start seeing some really nasty, uncharitable behavior. But for them, because you're thinking, they're gonna behave nastily. Nope, they could start seeing some really hard pushes against this behavior because of this. The internet not small anymore. The internet real big now. It's not even 10 years ago. 10 years ago it was huge. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's everywhere, and especially with all of this cryptocurrency behavior going on right now.
Oh yeah,
It's now real money jumping up now. It's not joke thing. It's not some guy it's not like some corner of the internet anymore where it's making money and the people could talk to each other. Not that shit anymore. It's a real deal now. So
all right. So basically, you're saying that you think that this net neutrality stuff will at least bring a sense of control to what's going on then.
Right, a
level of it then, not too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It not cap off like before now. Like before, I thought it would have stay cap off, but Ajit and them like open the floodgates now in a real strange way. But it's only a handful of people big enough to exploit that.
Right.
We'll see. I don't know. Future, only time will tell.
Yeah.
I don't think it as nightmarish as people make it out to be. As if it'll have the slow lane, fast lane thing. That's not. I don't think that's a little simplistic take, personally. But whatever, we'll find out.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not too verklempt over it, frankly.
Verklempt. Lol.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so apart from all those stuff that we just mentioned here, of course we have to do our reviews. So for me now, just to close off my suffering through worst movies of 2017, Right, you do, because remember last week I talked about Resident Evil, the final chapter. So
Right.
like, you know what? There was another movie that came out around the same time, January, of
Yeah.
course,
Another,
which was
another
also
bullshit.
the final chapter. This is one that you saw, but you
Yeah,
just didn't want to talk about it.
yeah,
And
F was
I
January.
haven't seen it for myself. I understand why. Underworld Blood Wars, boy.
Yeah.
The fifth and
Okay, so I having very vague memories about why it is I went to see this, and I now remember why. What happened? Okay, here what happened. I was supposed to meet somebody to see something, another movie, and then I just wanted to meet them anyway. They came, and they came late, or they couldn't. I think for some reason I couldn't call them, so they come at the wrong time or something along those lines. And the movie ended, or the movie we wanted to see started, so it was already like half hour. So we like, well, we just pick a movie and then we was going live after anyway. And this was the movie we picked.
oh,
But this was starting like it was this going to start in 5 minutes or whatever it was.
right.
So we went to see that is what ended up happening of why I saw this movie.
Okay, now I have
This
a
was not by
question.
intention.
Right, now I have a question to ask you. Right now,
Yeah.
prior to you seeing this movie, because I have to remind myself of this, because this was like way back in January. Wasn't this hinted at being the final film in the series? Because
Right,
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now,
Right.
and they're gonna have a sixth one.
Right, yeah, because it like start a new set of bullshit.
Yeah,
More
so
people,
right.
more law building bullshit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't remember if they really pitched it as the final one, or maybe I
can't
just
remember myself
confused
because
it with Resident Evil. I don't know, but
Right.
yeah,
Right. You know, that's the sad part about these movies. That these movies so bland and forgettable is that it's all a blur.
I know, right?
It's really exploit your memory.
Yeah.
Because it's really like, wow, this is just straightforward bullshit. And
It
look,
is.
let me just be clear here. I love Kevin Grievo to death. I love the dude. I love that this dude exists. He's like my spirit animal. The dude is like, he was like, I think a chemical engineer. He have a master's in chemical engineering or something along those lines. And he gave up all of that to go Hollywood to write his own shit. He made it happen. Like from a practical, pragmatic standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is like a big time nerd, and yeah, if you see him in real life, he's a big, huge black dude. It's like, oh shit, like he's like the exact opposite of where you think a nerd should be. But no, he's a big time nerd, huge nerd. Love the dude. He like Vin Diesel in that way now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Vin Diesel is a person. He's like a big muscle head type. Nope, Vin Diesel have a D&D character that is like 30 years old or some shit like that. Bigger nerd than me, pretty sure of it. So Kevin Greenwood is like a big nerd, big world building guy. But jeez, boy, he need to like, I don't know what had happened, but he had to get proper people to world build this because it's the most sluggy world building you would ever goddamn see.
And just dull
Jesus.
and uninteresting
Yeah,
and boring and
yeah, that's
monotonous. I'll talk about that
you know,
later.
and I was like,
Very monotonous.
every time a character opened their mouth to try to explain something, like, god damn again. When you
Yeah,
explain it.
boy, you know. But apart from all that, though, before I get to actually talking about Blood Wars, I also took in a movie that I was like really, really eager to see this year. I'm so glad I got to see before year's end. A Ghost Story.
Okay,
This is
right,
one that
I
a
was-
lot of people have been hyping up as
started
one of the
watching
best
this-
movies of the year.
yeah,
You
I
started watching it,
this.
but then what happened? Don't tell me you slept at it, huh?
What happened, boy? Started watching it, but I had started to do some work, and I was like, alright, how to watch this later. And then by the time work finished, tired. I was too tired.
All right. I'll take your excuse for what it is.
I'll tell you where I reach. I reach where the ghosts wake up and a door open.
Okay, that's
and then it opens.
somewhere in the
Really
middle.
the beginning.
Okay, all right. Well,
Pretty much.
yeah, but I'll do my review of it as well in a while. In your case, you saw a movie which was written and directed by Louis C.K. called "I Love You, Daddy."
yeah, this is-
I remember you mentioned that before.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more controversial movies of the year, especially given in the light of Louis C.K.'s little shenanigans and chicanery he get in trouble for.
Yes.
But I'll talk about that and reference it with all of that. I'll get into like, you know, that's that our whole Me Too movement and all of that, because it kind of blowing over now and settling down now.
Yeah.
Although the Rose McGowan at the Emmys, which is Golden Globes. Yeah, she got a big set of chicanery and whatnot now. But again, they digging deep.
Right.
So I'll talk about the movie.
Okay. Apart from all that, too, unfortunately for me, I just didn't get around to watching this because I was just so busy last week. Season 3 of Mr. Robot.
Right. I finished that today.
All right, lucky you. So you can talk about that.
Yeah.
And we both saw actually together in glorious IMAX Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Right.
And this is the 8th film in the series thus far. So
Yeah.
we're gonna share our thoughts on that. But before all of that though, I'm just gonna do a little segue. Just something that, like, initially I wanted to do a track by track review of this, but because the album was just so long, clocking in at like 77 minutes, I said, you know what? Let me just do like a quick little rant review of the new album from Eminem called
Right.
Revival.
Okay.
So this album came out Friday, December 15th. I took a listen to it.
Nice.
The only song that was going into this thing, the only song that I knew from it was Walk on Water. And if you remember what I did my track review of it with Beyonce,
Right.
I told myself that this have to be like the intro, the way how it's set up, the themes of it, which is basically about Eminem kind of dealing with self-doubt, talking about,
Right. So
well, I want to be a great rapper, but, you know, my fans don't really like what I'm doing here, so I turn away pages and whatnot, you know?
I didn't listen to the album, but I think someone leaked part of it on YouTube.
Oh, really? On YouTube? Okay.
Think so. So I just listened to a couple tracks, and like from what I got, I was like, yeah, I can see why people hate this, because I have a bunch of real weak beats, like weak trap like beats.
Yeah, I'll talk about
like,
I'll talk about them trap beats
so
in a bit.
I listened to like the first four. I listened to the first about 6 or 7, just a run through them. I ain't listened to them entirety, just to hear how they sound. And
Right,
and
I
like,
understand.
yeah,
and if
like,
a beat
wow.
catch your interest, you go
Right,
on,
exactly.
right.
And none of them catch me, none of them hold me. I was like, no way. I
Right.
can see why men eating on this too.
Yeah.
That's more the take on it.
Right. The second single that came out was called Untouchable. Now what I did is I did not listen to the track at all because I wanted to hear the entire album. So I don't want to just do like what everybody did with Walk on Water when it came out. I just judge that and be like, oh well, this album is gonna suck. You know what I mean? I wanted to hear Untouchable in the context of the album. And just before I jump into the album, you know, they actually, Eminem and his team actually put out the playlist for this. I think it was like about a week before the album came out, and people were just like, what? Ed Sheeran's in this? Alicia Keys? Kalani? What? And, you know, Pink, who also collaborated with him before on Revival, on Recovery with Survival. I remember that song being in a trailer. I think it was for a Mission Impossible movie that came out. I think it was either not Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol. Yes,
the fourth one. Yeah,
the fourth one. No, not the fourth one. Not the fourth one. The fifth one.
Ghost Protocol is which one? The fourth one.
Oh gosh. I'm forgetting the fifth one, but anyway, that they used that in one of the in one of the trailers for the movie. Yeah, so like I saw Pink's name, I was like, alright, well they did it before, so whatever. But yeah, people was just going crazy about this track list. Like, ugh, Ed Sheeran, why would he collaborate with Ed Sheeran and all that kind of stuff? To me, it's just like, you even listen to the damn album yet? You haven't listened to it. Stop judging it as is. But I'll admit, you know, I'm not surprised that people were kind of, you know, a little perturbed by what they saw in it. Just like, well, all right, clearly this album is not going to be what I expect it to be. So, so I took a listen to it, and as expected, Walk on Water was the opening track. I was like, well, yeah, this actually makes sense, because this pretty much sets up what the album is about. Now, if you look at the album cover itself, which was, you know, which was the American flag, which is Eminem, you know, with his hand over his face, and the American flag superimposed over that image, you're telling yourself, and this is also based off of the BT Hip Hop Cypher that he did this year, that he's gonna go for a political stance, right? Which he hasn't done. He does sporadically, every once in a while he does that, right? But you're thinking with the album cover, okay, he's gonna go not full political, but it's gonna have a political stance now, similar to like what Joey Badass did this year with All American Badass, which wasn't entirely political, but it was just him speaking on, this is how times are, this is how I feel, this is how I could move in this new landscape now, seeing that Trump is in power, and this is what you should do. You should still, you know, go for yours and live your life, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff now. And it worked for Joey Badass, because it was just him stepping out of this, you know, this 90s boom bap worship that I always loved about him, but He stepped out and actually did new things. He actually got a little bit more creative with his wordplay as well. And I love that album. That's in my top 5 best albums of the year at the moment. But getting back to Revival here for a bit. So I said to myself, okay, this is gonna be, we have the Walk on Water thing, so okay. The impression I'm getting at is that, because of the cipher, this is him kind of coming out to the masses and being and kind of saying, yes, I'm in my 40s now, but I could still speak to my people because of what's going on, and we hate Trump and all that kind of jazz. So after Walk on Water, we get into Believe, and we get this kind of, well, basically the beat is kind of energetic. It is energetic compared to what Walk on Water, which was before, which was just this piano ballad kind of thing. But what stood out the most to me, and in a bad way, was trying to emulate this trap style of rapping. So it's like, and alright, I know the argument people will say, at least he have bars, he has lyrics, but at his age, there was no need for him to try and copy what everybody else is doing. Like, there was no need for that. And there's a couple more instances where he does that early on in the album, where he's trying to copy what everybody else is doing, what Migos is doing, what Big Sean is doing. You know what I mean? And to me, as an Eminem fan, I felt there was no need for that. Like, for example, I know, like GC, for example, he did used to copy a couple of styles like that every once in a while, but not as obnoxious as Eminem did on this one, unfortunately. What else? Untouchable, that track that I didn't want to listen. Yeah. What got me here? This is where he started to get. Well, all right. So basically, there's a few tracks on the album which have this rap rock kind of vibe going on. No, I don't mind rap rock, right? I love the Beastie Boys. I love what Run DMC did back in the 80s with Aerosmith. That was epic, right? But is the context of it? And like, you're hearing these songs and you're telling yourself, like, I'm telling myself, but this is 2017, Joe. This is like some kind of 2000s Beastie Boys kind of shit I hear in here. So with Untouchable now, this was weird though. Like, have you ever seen Up in Smoke? Classic stoner movie. Is the first movie with Cheech and Chong.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So there's a rock song that I think Cheech Marin does, right?
Okay.
Which is Ache My Eye. It's like this, like, the narrative in the film makes no sense, right? It's basically a show to get high to and you laugh at, right? Which is the point. But there's one moment near the end of the movie where they have to go to win this concert, right? This battle bands kind of thing. So Cheech basically came up with this idea of a song now, and he had this riff which was like so I hear in this beat and it's like, oh, is this song okay? But the way how it's in the song now, it just kind of made it stick out a little too much for me now. And then worst off, when they actually get to the actual chorus of the song, I'm hearing Cheech, like, they're using samples of the lyrics from his song now. Like, my parents tried to teach me how to live, like that now. And I was like, this real take him out of the song now. But what makes it worse now is that this is where he actually started to get political, because he's talking about how hard it is to be an African American in America now, because of cops and racial profiling and stuff like that. So he's talking about at times, because he's white, he kind of feels bad about being white, and it's like, I'm untouchable because I'm white. And he even speaks from the perspective of a white cop. So it's like, well, I'm untouchable, so you can't do anything to me, but I could pull you up and read you your rights and tease you and whatever. I could do whatever I want because I'm white, So he has these really great themes in it, and I thought that lyrically it worked, but that beat just took me out of it. But it just really did. And then song is like done 6 minutes long. I just kind of went on and on and on and on, because I think you probably have the same problem too, where you felt I think you probably feel the same way too, how Eminem's style has developed over the years now, especially with his freestyling, where it just feels like he's just spitting words, he just talking basically, but he's not really, he just keep on rambling, but he's not really getting to a point. So it's like, I'ma stop with Mazel Tov, but he just keeps going there. So I felt like in the latter half of the album, of that track, he just kept going like that, and he just could have just stopped it right there. Like, we get the point, we understand, okay, moving on. Then we had River, for example, which was featured Ed Sheeran, And this is song that real people's like, oh, this song's gonna be garbage, blah blah blah. I felt personally it went the way it did. Same thing I could
Right.
say for like the collaboration with Kalani and Skylar Grey and Pink. It's these guys coming in the chorus, saying what they have to say, and Eminem just rapping. That's it. So it's not like anything serious they should worry about. But River, he stopped being political here. He's talking about this relationship that went bad, and just basically him being in a relationship for the wrong reasons now. So like right there, I tell myself, but wait now, I thought he was gonna be all political here. Why you doing this whole love the way you lie kind of stuff? And as I mentioned, love the way you lie. Yeah, this is another love the way you lie. It's another pop rap song. It has a pop rap style to it. The hook is something that that gonna be on repeat and stuff like that. People gonna love this song because Ed Sheeran singing it. I think this is like an actual single on the album, or it's gonna be a single eventually. I'll probably hear this on radio soon enough. But yeah, this is
Right.
an easy radio single right here. So I was just like, you know what, whatever. Um, and then we jump back again with the rap rock with Remind Me. Now, even if you don't know anything about rock music, you know what? You know the song I Love Rock and Roll, right? I love rock and
Yeah,
roll. Right,
yeah.
everybody
Oh,
knows
oh,
that song. They use that as a sample for this song. Like the whole beat is just a
Right.
remake of that song. Right down to the chorus where it's I love you cause you remind me of me. Like, we doing this, Sam? We doing this in
Yeah.
2017, dog? Anyway, so we have like Home, which features Alicia Keys. This was the next song that people were going crazy for, even though it's produced by Just Blaze. I thought the beat was alright, but this is where M was like being all like, believe in yourself and believe that we could rise above Trump being in power, and this is still the greatest country in the world and all that kind of stuff now. So it's like sounding real triumphant and everything, and then Alicia Keys doing this Empire State of Mind kind of chorus. And like when I saw her in the track, I was like, I know they're gonna do that, they're gonna have her do something like Empire State of Mind, where it's like, greatest country in the world. I forget how the chorus goes, but it's something along that line there. And yes, it's like home, you know what I mean? No place like home. So I was like, all right, whatever, moving on. Bad Husband, Didn't Care For, Tragic Endings, which featured Skylar Grey, was just dull and boring. This was just like one of these, like, if you remember from Recovery, these real melodramatic songs with these, instrumentals, where it's like, well, and once again, it's another Love the Way You Lie kind of song, which is where you're breaking my heart and you're hurting me and you love to see me in pain and you love to do damage to me, and you're giving me all these tragic endings and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this is boring. I don't care for this. Let's run through the album here quick. We have Framed, which was just so goddamn annoying, and I get the context of it. It's just like him saying, it's him trying to channel back that Slim Shady vibe, where it's like you have this Slim Shady character running around doing bad, evil shit and all that kind of stuff. But it's not me, Eminem, who did it. I was framed. And the chorus is just so annoying. It's just like, I was framed.
Like an outdated premise then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's just so annoying, Jed. Nowhere Fast, which is the next track, feature Kalani. Kalani had some great vocals here. She did the hook. I heard her album was pretty great though. A lot of it showed up on the top 10 list and whatnot, but I have yet to listen to it. It's an R&B album basically. Didn't care for that one either. This was like another lovey-dovey track as well. Heat was another rap rock track as well. Didn't really care for that one. Offended. This is the one that's gonna really divide people, right? Now, if you are a fan of like a rap god, right, for example, and you love the rapid fire flow and the real quippy lines that he had, it's there on this album, right? And he does a kind of like trap style kind of thing where you'd be like but you know what I mean? So he just does all these double time and triple time flows and all that, and it works, right? But it's one of those songs, like some rap heads will say, like especially with Eminem, where you would talk a whole lot of shit but you're not really saying anything. It's like one of those tracks where you're saying so much in 5 minutes and 20 seconds, but when you think about it, it's really nothing, and it's just really these real annoying, like Rain Man, those kind of things. Like you're just talking, and you're trying to sound clever when you're rapping basically, but you're not really seeing anything. That was the problem.
Right.
And I just remembered what Heat was. Heat is one of the most probably hands down the worst track on this entire album. It's like all these corny bars, boy, about one line and it's just him talking to this girl basically. Is like, well, yeah, I want to get with you and I want to get with you sexual, all that kind of stuff. So I have this line basically, like I literally had to rewind the track to hear, to be like, you really did see this, right? Where it's like this pun he's talking about, right? Where like it's like this hot dog analogy. So sorry, like barbecuing or like grilling something, right? So he's saying that like you have the meat and I'll provide the ass burgers.
Right. So
Something along that line. But like when I heard it, I was like, no, Dread, you can't be coming up with these corny bars, Dread. It's like real terrifyingly corny bars you'll hear in this.
Right.
And like at your age, you're not even supposed to be rapping like this. Even if it's meant to be fun, even if it's not even if it's not meant to be taken seriously, like a guessy track is. Nah, man, you don't do that. Need Me, I didn't really care for. Pink was in it. It's one of these kind of depressing kind of tracks, and she was just like singing for like 2 minutes into the track anyway. So like, what's the point of that? Another track that took me completely out of the album though, In Your Head. Now, once again, even if you're not a rock head, I know you probably know Zombie from the Cranberries, early 90s.
I can't remember.
What's in your head? In your head, zombie. Right. It's like this real famous rock song back in the 90s. I forgot the lead singer. She does some yodeling in the chorus. I think that's what people remember from it. I'm not even gonna try to replicate that. That she could do that well. And it's like the laziest production I've heard in the album thus far. Once again, you're taking the beat of the song and you're making a rap beat out of it. You're taking the original song, you're making a rap beat out of it. And then, of course, they take the chorus, the famous What's in Your Head chorus. And that's it. And once again, it's Eminem bitching and moaning about people don't understand me. And this is what's going on in my head. And I want to be the best and blah, 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 blah. The last two tracks were pretty interesting as well. But once again, I didn't really care for. So it's called, the first track is called Castle, where the second and last track is called Castle. This is where he's writing letters to Haley, and also apologizing to Kim, which was pretty ballsy, pretty amazing as well. Because I remember on the last album, Marshall Mathers LP2, he did this one track where he apologized to his mom, and I thought that was like a really powerful moment on the album. Doesn't stick out as much as doesn't hold out as much as it did, but I still thought it was a really genuinely emotional moment on the album. So he tried to do the same thing here, where he's more or less writing to Haley and Kim and talking about, well, I just want to see all they get by, and I want to be the best dad I could be, and all that kind of stuff. But what's interesting with that track is like when it ends, and alright, so it's like 3 verses, but each letter, whoever he writes, is in different time periods. So this one, I'm assuming, is before or around the time when he did no, it's before he brought out Relapse, right? The album that he did before he kind of just started over from scratch with Recovery, right, back in 2010. So it's around the time like between Encore and Relapse. So I think this was in 2007 where he based this last verse now. So it ends with him pretty much overdosing on pills. He falls into the ground, and then paramedics come. So the last track on the album, which is called A Rose, is him talking like he is about to die, basically, on the hospital bed now. So it's like him about to die from this pill overdose. So he's talking about, well, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in your life. I'm really sorry. I think this is where he apologizes to Kim. I think this is the moment where it happens. But he's more or less talking to his fans. He's talking to he's more talking to Haley and his family more than anything else, right? So he's talking about he's sorry that he did what he did. He's sorry he couldn't be there for them. Sorry. And then near in the end, he kind of rises up from it. So it's like, okay, well, I'm being resuscitated now. I'm gonna live now. And now I wish I could actually go back in time to fix what I did. So it goes back to the very end of Castle. And then I believe he says a couple more lines or another verse actually, and then it ends with another sound effect. So it's not like the pills that we heard from the last track, but it just kind of rewinds and just kind of ends it off. So he does something else then it just kind of ends like that.
Right.
And I'm telling myself, well, all right, why this couldn't have been the major theme of the album? Like why you had to take the most interesting aspect of your album and put it into two tracks. Like why you couldn't have just made it be like an actual theme of the album now. You know what I mean? Like start off a way but end a certain way too. And I'll just stop here in terms of like the actual review. Well, sorry, actual run through of the album itself. So
Right.
to me, this was a very, very, very mediocre album, Jed. For one thing, it runs for way too long. I know M has a penchant for having these long albums, but this one really felt sluggish to me. It took out it just really felt like a chore for me to sit through and listen to these albums. I felt that there could have just been so much they could have taken out, like In Your Head and Heat and Frame. They could have just taken out those tracks. There was no need for them to be there. Also, I felt that the album cover was very misleading,
Right.
because you're giving off this whole political vibe now from it, and then of course with what we saw with the freestyle at the BET Awards, I thought
Right.
that okay, this is gonna be Eminem actually stepping up to the plate and seeing what he thinks about Trump and whatnot. Now I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit that, and I was worried about this too. I was worried that he was going to spend a majority of the album pretty much saying the same thing about we hate Trump, we hate Trump, we hate Trump. I'm glad he didn't do that, but I felt
Right.
that it was not focused. For you to jump from a political track to you talking about being in this relationship that you shouldn't be in with Ed Sheeran just didn't work for me. Um, from you jumping to America is still a great country to going back and talking about you being a bad husband with ex-ambassadors and more lovey-dovey melodramatic shit just does not work for me
Right.
at all. The guest stars, I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. I mean, Beyonce did what she did, Ed Sheeran, Alicia Keys, so I can't really fault any of them. um, Production kind of just goes all over the place. Like there wasn't really a particular honestly, honest to God, there was like a particular beat that I could say I will go back to, like remembering, you know what I mean? Like I will go back and just be nodding my head, like, yeah, this was a great beat. Everything else, I mean, these beats just felt like the stuff that you would have heard on an Eminem album after Encore. Like between that whole, like from Recovery till now, that sort of pop rap melodramatic kind of vibe thing going on, it's pretty much that. You get that throughout the majority of the album. And I mean, I know it had some great, production producers behind the boards and everything, but it's just stuff that just kind of came off a little bland to me. The worst, the biggest offenders to me though were the rap rock tracks, like
Right.
Remind Me and Heat, and even right down to Untouchable as well too. Even though Untouchable lyrically had like the best, well, sorry, yeah, Untouchable in terms of him being focused on seeing something, I thought that worked the best now. But just that instrumental and that Cheech and Chong sample just took me out of it. But I just didn't really care for it, even though, like I said, lyrically, he was saying quite a lot now. Even though I felt that he could have just stopped at the 5 minute track. There, he just kept going on and on and on. I do get that M is trying to stay relevant, and that's fine. Not knocking down Eminem for that, and not saying he should retire and everything. But when you have guys like Jay-Z and all these old school people, old school artists who are embracing the new song, but they're not dumbing themselves down to try to cater to the young people. You know what I mean? I felt that
Right.
Eminem should have done the same thing. He didn't have to try to do this trap style thing and sound embarrassing when he did it. On that second track, Believe. Like, trust me, listen to it, you'll hear it, and you'll be like, yeah, dog, what is you doing there? What are you doing
Right.
here? Stop that. Stop that. You're better than this. And this, I'll just say this in finally before I get to rating. The thing that really bugs me the most about this album is that this man has been in the game for years, Dread. For years. Now I know how the landscape, how the musical landscape is. You have people like Migos and Lil Pump and all these guys more or less dominating the rap scene right now. But still, you are a better rapper than all of them combined. Like you should be able
Right.
to approach this thing not just with the bars, but with more focus and more of an idea of what it is you're trying to say on the album instead of just jumping from one topic to the next topic to the next topic and then not sticking with the whole political vibe that your album is expressing and then just going back to the same tired themes that we've heard in your previous albums.
Right.
She broke my heart. I hate her. She hates me, but I love her. She loves me. Um, I love this relationship, even though it's bad, it's toxic, but I love her. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I could rap better than you. I could fart in your mic and it'll still sound good. You know, all these kind of childish kind of thing. There's like you are at an age, Red, where not so much you should know better. Yeah, you should know better, but you should have more of an idea of what it is you want to say. Because I know this guy's a perfectionist. I know that he takes a lot of time in crafting great albums, but his earlier work, even right down to Encore, at least had some kind of focus. Here is just like, it's just like the train just left the reels basically. Just going here, there, and everywhere, and it just kind of comes off as just this weak, pathetic attempt at making himself relevant in 2017. So yeah, this was a letdown for me. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst albums I listened to this year. This is definitely one of the most disappointing I've heard in a long while. But
Right.
what I would say though before I get to rating is like, it's for better or for worse. Shred is like, if you love the post relapse Eminem where he's less crass and vulgar and crude, and he's more talking about his feelings inside and how he still feels lonely and people don't understand him, and he loves you but I don't, yeah, but you don't love him, and all that kind of stuff, and
Right.
or you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff that we kind of got annoyed by and we gotten used to. But yeah, with every single album, it's just like rinse repeat. It's just the same thing again and again and again. But if you like those kind of things, then yeah, I guess you'll gain some kind of enjoyment out of it. But if you were like looking for like the true return, the true revival of Eminem, like him returning to form now, you know what I mean, and reminding us why he is an icon, a legend on the mic, similar to like what Jay Z did with 444, then yeah, you're gonna be disappointed by this. So for me, I given this a decent 2.5 out of 5 stars. This could have been so much better, given the artists and given the stuff, given given what he was teasing us with Walk on Water and Untouchable, and even that
Yeah.
freestyle as well. He could have come way better than that. So I'm not saying that the man should just call it quits, even though and this is another album, and this is another theme that he also brings up. If he should just kind of call it quit, if he's not pleasing the fans anymore, if people don't care about him anymore. But the man just needs to have a proper focus and just go back to delivering just quality music instead of just jumping on other people's bandwagons trying to stay relevant. So I say give it a listen if you want to, but trust me, after one or two listens, you probably not gonna care for this. You just probably go back to the Slim Shady LP or even Infinite, which was like his first ever album, and you just forget that revival ever existed. You probably will hope and pray that we do get a true revival from Eminem. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5 for me. A disappointment for me. Wish this could have been better, and I hope that with the next album, hopefully, that he does come back to form and he gives us the Eminem that we know and love over all these years. So yeah.